What's going on over here? Couldn't really see. I wasn't gonna come back, but I said I would, so I am here because I just started listening to a song that just came out on Scary Pockets, and it was John Baptiste. I don't know if you know who that is. You probably should. I think he won something like 9 Grammys. Not that Grammys matter, but he's pretty okay. He's from New Orleans. He's fucking fantastic. And a song came out, Scary Pockets, I believe. Maybe it wasn't on Scary Pockets. I think it was, but it was him and Lawrence. If you know Lawrence, the band, they just got kind of blew up, and she was singing, and there was a couple other people on there. It was just crazy, and I was just listening to that. It was magic. So I was just gonna listen to music and hang out by myself. But I said I would come back and do some divining from some books. So if you guys have any books or any thoughts, I will go and collect the book. I have three books sitting here, and they're wildly different from each other. I decided to change where I was sitting and sit on my couch rather than my chair. I don't know if this is going to work though. We'll see. Who's up in here? What up, Danny Skylark? Yeah, Danny's funny. Danny's a funny one. I'll talk to her for like 3 days, like all day chat, and I'll talk to her for like 2 weeks, and then she'll text me like, "Hey, what's going on?" And I text her back, and I don't hear from her for 2 more days. Like, what the fuck's going on here? Yeah, people are flaky like that. She's a flaky one. You never know to get that thing. Um, she might not even be here right now. She might just said hello and left. They're just like scoot. She boot scooted and boogied. Anyways, I have Striking Thoughts by Bruce Lee. It's wisdom for daily living. I have this book. It's called Assholes. It's the name of the book. I didn't write it. I would have, but he beat me to it. It's a theory by Aaron James. I think it's fantastic, and it's funny because if you look at a picture of him right away, you get the feeling that he's an asshole. But considering he's writing this book, he is not an asshole. So the way he's dressed, though, I'm feeling asshole vibe all over his smarmy, smirking. He's wearing like a button up with a sweater over it. He feels like he's an asshole that golfs a lot. But you read the book and you realize he's not. He's just well humored. Then I also have this book called the Don Wantari. It's about the Ayurvedic life, and then I have a bunch others sitting over here, which wouldn't be really good for reading. I was going to divine something out of them. If anybody wants to, I'll split the room with you, including you, Danny Skylark, if you're still here. See that thing right there? It says StreamYard.com. You can just type that shit in, and I will let you into the room, and we'll share the room with you. And that goes for anybody else if you want to. And I don't have to let you in. I can just leave you in the waiting room, like the asshole you are. See what this book does? It gets me all. I was gonna go grab the book by. See, I'm a little snotty. I think because I'm sitting on this couch, and maybe because I haven't sat on it, it might be a little dusty. You know what I'm saying? Things settle. And as soon as I sat on it, I think I lifted up some of the dusties, and it got my nose. Anyways, I was going to go grab the book by Robert Greene, The 48 Laws of Power, or the other one, The Art of Seduction, which are great reads. Very, very thick lessons in there, and great writing too. The 48 Laws of Power, though, if you read it from one angle, it's how to be a complete sociopath. Like when I first read the book, I was like, oh, this is a good person. They're just revealing some cool things. And then I seen him, and I was like, oh, the dude is definitely a sociopath. Maybe not. Maybe maybe just like a psychologist or something. I don't know. But you read the book, and from one sense, it's great storytelling, and it's giving you some laws of how people acquire and how to defend against. So it's great, but it's very, very manipulative. It's like, remember How to Win Friends and Influence People? Remember that book? How to Win Friends and Influence People? That's a great book because the number one rule before he says anything, and he says it multiple times, he's like, you have to be authentic. What I'm telling you here is he basically says, be interested. This is the number one thing, be interested in people, but you have to authentically be. You can't faint. You can't just feign towards, this is how I want to be. It's how I should be. You can't fake it. You have to be authentically interested. And that's the number one rule for how to make friends and influence people. Where 48 Laws of Power is basically that on steroids. It says, no, just here's how the chess moves work. Here's how everything works. Just do that. Fake the whole fucking thing. You don't even have to believe it. This is just how it works. This is a book about people that apply those types of things without actually meaning it. Assholes. Assholes and bachelors. They're self-aggrandizing assholes with moral pretext. This is a good one. Do you know these people? You've met these people. Self-aggrandizing assholes. They're everywhere. With thin moral pretext. They always have a moral ground for why they act like pieces of shit. So this is like this would probably be stage 2 narcissism. Anybody's in psychology, philosophy, all these words, this should make pretty much complete sense. Because most people are in society these days geared towards narcissistic, sociopathic, cluster B tendencies. I don't like to minimize people down to their most basic set of things, but the value system people have is pretty much on public display of how they interact with people and how they acquire things. That they it's just basically like if you were to put this code into a computer, it will just give you what you want. Because people are so easily influenced by just saying, or like I seen a video of your boy Joe Biden the other day hugging a kid with Down syndrome, and the whole thing was this onslaught of people going, oh, no matter what you think about politics, this should just warm your heart. What a good person. Like, first of all, that's a photo op, and it's meant to pull on your heartstrings. That is all mimicked bullshit nonsense, and you're getting your heart tugged by some sort of image that isn't true. That's a sociopathic, narcissistic, like nothing about him is a good person. Nothing about him has ever been a good person. He's a politic. He's a politician. He's a tick. He's part of a many-headed tick that just sucks succubus of bloods and energy off of you and your emotions. But they're getting fooled by it because he put a code in. Here's the code. Let me act like I care about this. Self-aggrandizing asshole with thin moral pretext. That's every president you've ever had. What do you think about that? Danny Skylark, are you still here, or you just laughed 4 times in a row with the same 2 things? Or are you on both of my channels? Did you do that? Did you go back and forth? Did you do it twice? What are you doing? Hey, Danny, do you want to come in here? Danny, put that in there. StreamYard.com, AP5HAKUXEV. Put that shit in there. Come play. And I'll the corporate asshole, which is prior to that, the presidential asshole, presidential, corporate, and then self-aggrandizing. Smug asshole. Those are all right in there. Man, should we read about assholes, or should I go to something else? Should I do something a little more lighthearted? A little motivation for you today? The ultimate principles of life. Yin and yang is relationship to man and woman. No woman should follow passively. She must learn that there is an active way of following. She must have what that Occidentals call backbone. By the same reasoning, a man should not be totally firm. His resolve must be softened by compassion. Simple. Straight to the point. Here's your lesson for the day. Via Bruce Lee. Wisdom for daily living. Anybody else in there? Is anybody listening? Does anybody care about anything that's going on right now? I don't think so. I could have started talking about assholes, so all the assholes left the room, because I'm talking about you. How's that? What's the difference between a twat and an asshole? There's a big difference between a dick and an asshole. You ever heard that story? I'm not going to tell it to you right now. Go look it up. Somebody does a way better job of it. Yes. Like, I'm a dick. I'm not an asshole. It's pretty simple. Most people might try to use those words interchangeably, but just look at the function of a dick and the function of an asshole. It's wildly different. And some people are taints, some people are pussies, some people are, and this, if you really like, whenever somebody says something, they're just trying to use a foul word. And they go, "Oh, that dude's an asshole. That dude's a dick. That dude's a prick. That dude's a piece of shit. That dude's a pussy. That dude's." They don't know what they're saying. It's not the same word. Every word has a different meaning. If you, the structure of the word, what is the function of an asshole? What is the function of a vagina? What's the function of a dick? What's the function? If you apply uh, those to personification, you personify those things into a human being, human form. That's what you get. So if someone's closer to something, any body part. Yes, thank you, Black Sun. Yeah, yeah. That right. That is the correct answer. Assholes do get fucked by dicks. That's right. Hey, I don't know. I guess Danny just dipped. See? She was being an asshole. Or she's being a pussy. Pussy's always getting fucked, huh? She got scared. She ran away like a little pussy cat. So what are we doing now? I was hoping some more people would show up. There was a bunch of people at the beginning, and I think people get turned off to reflection of themselves whenever I say something. I mean, I'm not a reflection of them. That's I think that whole we've talked about this before. You know how everyone's a reflection of you. No, it's not. I fully I used to go in and out of like, is that true? Is everything just a projection, a reflection? No, because you can't be, because some things are a perfect reflection of you. It's exactly you, and some things are the opposite of you, and some things are some angular perspective. So it's like then it's just aspects. It's just angles. Like, okay, so that's an angle of a whole totality. So it's not a reflection. Yes, it's a reflection, but what on what angle? So then it's a whole fucking the whole litany of fucking people. You don't know. It's like if I say something to somebody like, well, you're just saying that because you're projecting. I'm like, no, that's like if I'm 1% like this and I say something, oh, because you're like that. Like, no, that's one part of my personality. 359% of my personality, 359 angles. If I was a circle, 360 degrees. 1 degree is that. It doesn't mean the totality of my personality is something. If someone's being like if someone's a crackhead and begging for change, and I go, look at this fucking crackhead begging for change. Well, that's you. Like, well, actually, it's not. Have I begged for something and asked for change before? Yes. Have I smoked crack? No. So that's not part of my personality. You can't say that's just a reflection of me. Well, that's what you would be. That's I hate that conversation, because that's just then you got to play semantics with people who's like, but if you went through that life experience, well, of course, then that would be me, but it's not. I'm sitting right here. You fucking dum dum. Oh, Danny's always got something to breastfeed. Here we go. Let's talk about breastfeeding. Let's talk about milk. Let's see what we got here. Let's go. Let's first start with hair because it just popped up. 184. Let's talk about hair and then breast milk. Long hair. If you want more long hair, eat a radish with salt and black pepper at noon for 6 months. It'll improve your skin texture and make your hair long. This is errrybody. It's old stuff. White radish, black and salt and black pepper. And it says at noon, so there must be a specific reason to eat it at noon for 6 months. If you want vitality as a male, you would eat an apple, the finest apple, peel it and prick it with cloves. Keep the apple with cloves in a porcelain pot for a week. After 8 days, take the cloves out and throw away the apple. Okay, so there's some alchemy, there's some chemistry happening here. Keep those cloves now, because you've thrown away the apple, in a jar and eat 4 cloves first thing in the morning with a glass of milk for 30 days. So some of the chemicals in the apple did something to the cloves. The cloves then have transmuted some energy to be conveyed to the body through the fats in the milk. So it says with a glass of milk. I'm assuming it's got to be unpasteurized and fattiest. Persons suffering from wet dreams or seminal disease, do not eat these cloves. Avoid intercourse for 30 days. Don't eat sour foods, including sour fruits, for 30 days. Use the oil of the cloves for double the benefit and curing disorders of the penis. 10 grams of cloves should be burned in 30 grams of chameli oil. I don't know what that is. CHAMELI. If you can find it, let me know. The oil should be strained and kept in a bottle. I'm sure you can use different types of oil for that, as the oil is much akin to the fats of the milk for maintaining, but the oil is just you're gonna hold it. You're gonna hold on to the capacity for the cloves to do their job. Rub the oil on your penis. Rub clove oil onto your penis. About 3 minutes every night, and then tie a betel leaf on your dick and go to sleep. 30 days of massaging your rod with this oil will make the organ strong and improve your erection. It will loosen the nerves, and your penis will work right again. Well, that makes sense, as cloves, if you have it will always bring blood to the surface. I mean, think about if you have a toothache or something, or you put it, it moves blood. So there you go. You got a problem with your wiener, go ahead and cloves and oil and stuff. That's good. Let's look at breastfeeding or boobs. Is that what we're getting into? Is that was the next thing? I forgot because you said breast. No, Brahma, bowels, breathing, buttermilk. No, nothing in here directly. Let's see what else we got. Deep breathing. Oh, we said milk. Milk. Well, we did kind of address mal milk and milk in general. So we got moon practices. We got nothing specific. See now, see that in the Rig Veda, the rocks, yeah. I guess I'd have to just find where there's nothing specifically in the kissing of the palm. No shit. Let's try that. That sounds good. So you're going to find today 22, 23. Tuning in and kissing of the palm. Our consciousness should be placed on one hand, slightly below our nose, to see which of the nostrils is open. Once you have discovered which nostril is working, you should work on that side of your body. But that's where the energies are more concentrated. Sending your attention where the energy is already centered, and you will be in harmony with your own natural cycles. Let's see. They're both pretty open, but I think my right, maybe a little more. Let's see. If you're breathing through your right nostril, look at the palm of your right hand. Observe the lines and patterns, study it, recognize it as your friend, and then kiss it. The act of kissing confers energy, and by kissing your palm, you give the best vibrations to your most effective tool for self-expression. Showing how to kiss things better. It's really weird. The other weekend, I don't know why, I just felt this desire to kiss everybody on their forehead. It's really weird. I just would grab somebody by the back of the neck and stare in their eyes and kiss them in the forehead. That's some weird shit, some like Jesus shit or something. I don't know, man. Or their cheek, depending on things. Who's here? What's up? What's up, Doc? Want to rock? What do we need to? Anybody have any problems? I can solve this through errrybody or my own personal. You fucker, that little fruit fly. Oh, fruit fly! I got a fruit fly factory in my kitchen, and it's a fruit that I left out. I already got rid of the fruit, but they've maintained their. Where are they? There's only a couple left. I've smashed them all. Anyways, I can solve your dilemma with my knowledge or Ayurveda, which is mixed in there, or some whole food knowledge, or fasting, or whatever. I don't know. Let's just get in some books. What are we doing? I already did a show, and I figured people would come back, or maybe now. I've been doing this show strictly for Daddy Skylar to come back, but she's not. She's too busy She's feeding the village. Anyways, yeah, I'll give you another striking insight. Abstract analysis is not the answer. There is entirely too much tendency to look inward at one's own moods and to try and evaluate them. To stand on the outside and try to look inside is futile. Whatever is there will go away. I don't know where it was, but there was. I had to smash the little fucker that jumped in the book. That was the piece of knowledge you needed, though. Knowledge, knowing, and time. Knowledge surely is, as always, of time, whereas knowing is not of time. Knowledge is from a source, from accumulation, from a conclusion, while knowing is a movement. Wow, that's heavy duty. Knowledge and knowing. Knowledge is over there, past, ideas. It's knowledge. Knowing is doing instantaneous. Yeah, that makes complete sense. Go ahead and chew on that. It says there's a quadra of people here. Quadra. Who is here? What must you want to know? What do you need to know? What do you require? What do you need from me? Are you just here to see what I'll do? Got nothing. I got nothing. I got books here, but I need a little motivation. I was just did a 2.5 hour video, and I'm a little bored, and I'm trying to tie a little Buzz Aldrin on. Oh shit! Who's this? Parsifal's all up in this bitch. Oh shit! Parsifal, keep your clothes on. Oh yeah. What up, dude?
Hey man.
How you feeling?
Been better.
You look very grayscale. Are you going for who's the gray wizard?
Gandalf.
You're getting Gandalf right now? Is that how you feeling?
They say when you get your first gray hair, that's when you know it's time to start serving the society. It's a definite sign.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I wonder if that happened for me because I don't know when I got mine, but I guess it could have been 5 years ago. But I have less gray hairs now than I did then. It's just they come and go. It's weird.
I was asking you how to grow my hair nice.
Yeah, did you hear earlier when I was reading the thing on the radish? That's this book here. That one tart. The other ones are from this, and they're just like little shit that I knew about. Yeah. And there's probably also simple little spinal adjustments. If there's like some sort of maybe you got to block something, maybe you need some needles in you. just go ahead and shoot yourself up with some. No, but I mean, get some acupuncture or something. That helps too.
Yeah, it's certainly a spine issue.
Ah,
One,
I
two,
had a
three.
I had a neck. It's funny. All within the course of a month, I'd slept wrong, and I had a neck issue. Then I got bit by a spider right here, and then I twisted my right ankle, and my right thyroid went to shit. All in the course of a month. It all was this one path. I mean, and anybody normally would say that's all divergent thing. One was you tripped because you're an idiot. One is you let a little shit get in your body. You ate bad. The other one was, well, you slept wrong. It could have been either side, and they seem so far removed, but yet why do they were all straight down right in this path?
My thing is that all the physical is emotional.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, and it was, and if I throw more of my life story into it, I had some very unbalancing, unsettling things in my life where my foundation got unsettled, right? Like some people I knew were having problems in their life, which then put a thing on me where I was like, oh man, that's unsettling me because my friends aren't good. And then another friend of mine was really sick, which I helps me with things. So their sickness, I'm like, well, I rely on them for something, and so that took foundation out of me, and so everything started to get a little dicey for a second. So like that spiritual, mental, emotional thing then outpours into the physical reality.
Which side was it?
On my right side.
On right side. So that's feminine.
Right. Yeah. It was, and everybody that was, and it was all bitchy. It was dudes that with bitchy attitudes, a couple gay dudes, a woman, and two women had really big problems in their life. One got really sick. One's dog died, and one of my gay friends got in a fight. You know what I mean? There was a really feminine shit going on, and somebody else that was just a very feminine shit going on. And then everything in my body got injured feminine wise, like emotional wise. And I was, and because empathy, I'm like, oh, I'm hurt for them. And then what happens? And then I'm fucking actually physically hurt for them. I'm like, I don't want empathy that much. I mean, I love having empathy for people, but not to that degree.
Oh, you were saying that we're not mirrors, right? Like that person's not me.
Yeah. Not completely, right? A fraction.
Sure, but no, it's completely. It's utterly completely. And
yeah, I know what you're saying, but I'm trying to give people an out to say, okay, if that was completely me, then it wouldn't just be my thyroid, but my thyroid was because of that person. So that was one fraction of me, and my ankle was this person, and the spider bite was the person. See, if I broke it down, I'd say the spider bite is the person, the gay dude that got punched in the face. That was a bite. The person with the thyroid issue was somebody that literally had a thyroid issue, and over there. The person with the ankle issue was somebody that had that. You know what I mean? Fractions, mirrors that are on angles. That's what I see.
So we have these ideas about ourselves, right?
Oh, those suck.
Beyond those ideas, it's the same. It's the same.
Yeah.
Thing.
I mean, and Lakesh, we're all the same. But if we're sitting here inside of a cube of Saturn, and you're having your experience and I'm having mine. You're over there, I'm over here. Of course, we are the same. If I'm on your timeline, and I get that, but you get your experience from that angle, and I get it from this angle.
Ego is the function that relates man to his environment.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very important. So in the Eastern system, they tell you no ego, because prior to that, they gave you the correct knowledge of the environment, which you do not perceive. So they say, get rid of your ego. In the Western system, I would not advise this.
Oh yeah, you
can't.
Get rid of the ego. You need ego. In the West, if you get rid of your ego in the Western world, you're gonna be shit out of luck, boss. Yeah. Everybody's out here trying to do the yogas and they're doing all this stuff, and I'm like, it's not gonna work.
It's fine Hollywood. If you have the correct knowledge behind it.
Huh?
It's fine. That yogic system is fine if they have the correct knowledge behind it. But they're not. They're using some other knowledge. It's
Nah, they go to yoga and they do it for an hour in that, and then they go back and then they take that suit off, and then they're back on their everyday whatever their life is. It's not
A spiritual robe.
yeah, it's not oh, how do you say it? It's not an immersion into their life. It has no effect on every other aspect of their life. It's just something they do. I'm gonna go bowling. I'm gonna archery team. I go to yoga. I go out with my girls for Sunday brunch. It's
Because
things
they
we do.
mistaken it for like activity like gym, where he's like, if I go, I'm gonna see results.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It's not the same.
Yeah, it's like that thing is gonna no, that's part of you if you know it. It's like you're not obviously the term when people realize yoke means you're yoked to spirit, if you're not doing yoga, you are that. It's like when I've had people in the building, they recognize that I look like this, and sometimes I wear a tunic, and I'm like, hey, and they're like, hey, where do you go do yoga? I have to laugh. I'm like, right now. They're like, me right now. I'm like, I am like this here. This is it. And I'm like, do you mean where do I go? Like to stretch or whatever? Like wherever. Like I get it that you need a place that you feel like you can just go, oh, okay, and you let a little stress off. Like where to go do that to start your journey or your path. But like the whole understanding is like, if I did that, that would separate me from actually right now. I can just go, oh, here, hey, Parcel, good to see you. I forgot for a second where I was and who you are and who I am and what this is. And then, so we're doing yoga. What is that? Connected. I'll be connected. It's like I'm gonna go plug my phone in over here. No, I want limitless Wi-Fi, wireless electric current into my phone. I can charge it in thin air. But they want to go over here and plug their phone and plug themselves into yoga, plug themselves into a simple practice. It doesn't.
I mean, I think there's a special place in hell for like the spiritual teacher who knows and is still selling yoga.
Oh, yeah.
That's like, because there's a ton of people they don't know, right? And they're selling the yoga, and I think that's
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Go for it.
But there's a few out there. There's 2 or 3 out there in the world that like you gotta.
Yeah, if you know and you're still making butter and cream off the top and going, so hell, just here's the come on, here's the little thing. That's rough.
And I've seen so many people justify it. They're like, no, well, he's helping so many people more than you ever could.
Oh,
like,
yeah. That's a big conversation that I got in. It's a little different, but it's similar. I got in a conversation years ago with a friend of mine who's a doctor. He runs his own hospital now. I mean, he knows his shit. He's a cool motherfucker, obviously Indian dude. And we'd have this conversation where I'm like, he knows fasting is good. He knows what to eat. He knows diet. He's like, we got in this really deep conversation that would always go. He's like, you realize, and it was kind of always the drug dealer thing. If I don't sell it, somebody else is going to sell it. It was that. And the other part was like, they'll come to my office. And if they come to my office and they need help, I can tell them, yeah, you need to stop eating this and you need to do this. Are they going to listen to me? They want the solution. They came to me. They want a pill. They want me to cut them and pull this thing out. They want me to do this. And they're going to pay for it. And they're going to do it whether I want them to or not. Even though I know the correct answer is to do the things that I would do. Because he's like, I wouldn't come to me. And I was like, I mean, you're right. And he's like, because they're not gonna change their path. 99% of them would never change their path anyways. So what am I going to do? I'm just going to send them away, and I can't. Like, they're going to go somewhere. It might as well be me. And I can't. I can't. In that way, because he wasn't being a spiritual teacher, I can't fault him because I was like, well, that's your job. They know what they're getting. And if they went to a yogi and they bullshit him, that'd be bullshit. That's nonsense. But like he was saying, like, It's like 10 crack commandments. I ain't gonna smoke my own. I ain't gonna sell to my people. You're like, if you a crackhead, you a crackhead. You're gonna do it one way or another. You're not gonna listen to me. I mean,
I
I've
watched
been
that.
there in this, I've been there in the sense of whenever I'm trying to teach people something, I'm like, you motherfuckers don't want to learn. You don't really care. I could say anything. I said this 1,000 times. You don't really care. How can I care for you when you don't care for yourself? That kind of bullshit.
I watched that documentary on John McAfee.
Oh, I just started that. I didn't realize it was a documentary, but interesting. Yeah.
It's insane. If you that's an example of an enlightened person who just did what he wanted.
Yeah.
But certainly an enlightened person.
Yeah, I didn't see the whole thing, but I would assume so because I knew who he was just from a little bit. I was like, that dude seems pretty up there. He seems well aware. I didn't.
Well, you know about cities, and then
Hey, Parsival, turn your mic on and off. It's staticky. Maybe you might have to jump in and out because it happens on my side sometimes too. Let me say this real quick. What up, base and base, thoracic outlet syndrome, nerve impinged scapular muscle groups. Yeah, there was an emotional thing that happened here. And I slept wrong, probably due to, emotional dilemma. So maybe I drank and sat in proper position. That shit happens. Let's see where we are there. Parcel. There we go. Parcel back. What up, Cam B? I see you a little bit. Why do people think that they live on a spinning? Yeah, I've covered that so many times. I don't want to smash this show up too bad by saying any of those words, Cam. But I think they're just stuck in the programming. They don't want to be wrong. They don't want. It's a simple thing as this. If you were lied to, it means you were fooled. And if you were fooled, you're foolish and stupid. So as soon as you say, "Oops, I got fooled. I was wrong," it means you were an idiot, and then you take a shot to the ego, you take a shot to your intelligence, and it says, "I was a dumb." If you're big enough to say, "I was dumb then, now I'm smart enough to go, oh, I got fucking fooled. I got tricked." That's a big thing. Hey, sorry, I fucked up. I'm an idiot. To yourself, you have to say it to yourself. Most people don't want to do that, so they're just wanting to go, no. I'm certain I'm a Christian. I'm certain there's some Jesus guy. Even if you got shown otherwise, I'm certain the earth is this way and not that way. I'm certain everybody falls in that. They don't want to feel like they were stupid and wrong at any point in time. That's the every not only that one. Yeah.
Reset your mic. Well, other than that, I think it's a spell. Like they're under a spell. Like that's what these people are doing today with Artemis, right? They're doing an occult ritual. It's not anything else. It's a spell.
Mm-hmm. And how do you get out of that spell? There's a few ways, but the first thing is recognizing you're under the spell. You're under a dictate. You're under some sort of like this.
Audio is still. I don't know about mine, but
until you recognize that you've had a spell or a hex or whatever cast upon you, there's nothing you can do about it. If you don't know that you're inside of some sort of mental framework, you can't get outside of the framework. Until you recognize there's a box, there's no getting out of the box.
It's what I was trying to make those videos about, that cosmology is a function of mythology. So there's a preceding thought to what you think a cosmos is, and that comes from a mythology. Mm-hmm. So that's the fundamental problem, is that people have been fed an incorrect mythology. Science is everyone's living mythology from day to day, even though they may express, I am Christian, I am Muslim, I am Hindu. What they experience day to day is what they've been taught from the science mythology. That's why they'll say to you, of course, the earth is spinning. You are ridiculous to follow another narrative. It's not about proof. It's not about scientific proof. It's about the underlying mythology of one's life. There's a narrative. You understand me, Zen? I know you
Oh,
understand me. But
You're talking
yeah.
about perception of the narrative that they were given. So your perception of a puppy is wildly different than somebody else's because of the narrative you've been filled with. That puppy is evil, it's going to bite you, it's going to kill you, versus that's a beautiful little puppy, look at that. And so that is running through your brain. It's not just puppy, it's religion, it's science, it's anything that you experience. Is you have a pair of glasses on that give you that. It's not just rose colored, it's whatever preconceived notions that you have of how
So
reality functions.
so we have these stories, these mythologies, these religions, and they saw the world very differently. So now we look at them and we say, metaphor. When it was written, it was no metaphor.
Mm.
It was absolutely the experience, the fundamental experience of these people. But now our fundamental experience is far different because of certain conditionings.
Yeah,
Has to do with early
layers
childhood.
of metaphor and cosmologies that are based upon a hypnosis that was laid there through religious science that are all mythology. So that mythology layered everything, and so we're seeing reality this way when in fact it's over here.
Well, it's whoever the winning tribe's shaman said this is how it is. Who's to say
Yeah, so,
how it is?
okay,
We
okay,
have
let's go.
we
Let's
have
go
no
one step
idea.
deeper. So why was there conflict of tribes to begin with? Why did they see the world differently if they didn't have an original? What is the original mythos or the myth or the story that was
There is a
told?
modern myth. Yes, yes. There is a modern myth. There is a all the mythologies you can see it if you study them, that they are the same.
Hmm.
You know.
It's the same, but then
when
when
it
they
comes
start
to
using different language to mean the same
no,
thing.
the same as in structure. This happens, then this happens, then this happens. Then this happens to that person, and that happens to that person. The human story remains the same in all the mythologies.
Uh-huh.
It's just that science is the new myth, People will tell you you're a separate thing and that's a separate thing and this is how everything works. And atoms and gravity and hold everything. That's complete myth, right? But they have the proof.
Mm.
Within their language. They've invented this proof and they can visibly see it now. So this is how it works for them. They'll never get beyond that. This is just a story.
Mm. Yeah. So what exists underneath the story? The original language, the original myth. So you have the original language, which would be whatever's happening. We're observing it. We don't have a way of decoding it into how can I speak it to you because you're looking at it. I'm looking at it like shit goes boom. That shit went boom. Let's see it. Or something grows and we observe it. And we don't have a language. And then all of a sudden we split the language up like Babylon. And then we start telling that story. But because we told it in two different languages, it seems like we're telling different stories. Is that kind of where I get into that myth becomes?
It's the same story though.
Yeah, for sure.
Certain groups had like certain aims and they adjusted the story in certain ways. Because from you got your mythology and your cosmology. From your cosmology comes your social structure, actually. What happens up there is mirrored down here in terms of who rules, the kings, the queens. All this is cosmological. The crown, and from your sociology, you got your pedagogy, just how to live, right and wrong. That comes from society. You can cross those rules at your own risk.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So is there the natural organic way? Like, okay, we talk about chakras, or we talk about like as animals
chakras are
without a certain
metaphor.
set of metaphor. Okay, so let's examine the word
chakras
metaphor.
are for you and me. Chakras are a metaphor for psychological energies, as we cannot get.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. That's what I was getting. So there is an
organic structure of like, okay, here's a level of higher awareness. There should be a king or a queen or some governance over things.
Like, of course, a parent knows better than the baby that can't even walk, right? So there is some sort of natural organic order to things that we've then turned into a story that is all of a sudden the CEO, the chief, is this fucking guy with Alzheimer's. Who the fuck is he the chief of? We should be changing his diaper. He's a child again. He went back into the mix. We need somebody that actually is, chief hot shit, which would be up here. This shit, it doesn't exist down here. It can't. But when we take the language and we start to structure it the way that we think it should be, it doesn't function. But in nature, it will always function, because until that animal can drop a seed, until a human can even really drop a seed, you can't reproduce. There ain't no 8-year-old boy that hasn't gone puberty and an 8-year-old girl that can reproduce. It can't happen. It doesn't work. There's not a flower that's producing this. There's a process that's organic that we try to force our perception on through the myths we've been told, and we try to speed it up. You can't speed up the nature of things. Those chakras. Like, where are you sitting? I don't know. You gotta jump around through these things.
For me, I see them as metaphors for psychological attitudes, as because that's what I have access to, man. I like metaphor. Yeah, break down the word is meta.
Yeah,
it's beyond. For is to carry something. You're forward. So
okay.
To carry beyond.
Meta is okay. See, I would break it down as meta meaning mind, and for being like phosphorus, or for like a force or a fire, like a mind fire. Metaphor being mind fire. But I get what you're saying in the sense of carrying of some, yeah, similar construct. I don't know how you etymologically break that down or where it came from, but
I mean, essentially for me, like, all life is beyond the words, but so we have the metaphors, because all of it is beyond. Like, what's happening?
Yeah, like, for me, life is the feeling of taking a really good shit. Whatever's happening there, wherever my mind is, it's escaped me. I'm not thinking about the good of the day, the bad of the day. It's just momentary feeling of going, or it's the same as having the moment of orgasm, the moment of taking shit. Seems like two wildly different things, but both are this, like, it's this point in the middle of ecstasy and reality, and just like, whoa, there it is. You're kind of on the precipice or the cusp of whatever physicality is and whatever mind is, and this is all this experience. Try to stay there. Everything is just like you're in this ultimate position going, it's that the baby, the guy on mushrooms, and the foreigner, the baby, the guy on mushrooms, that old Saturday Night Live skit. Do you remember it? And everybody goes,
I'll check it out.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. It just shows the point that a child is at. Everything goes, what's this? The guy on mushroom goes, oh, what's that? And the foreigner, never seen the land, goes, oh, because he doesn't speak the language. Being at that point all the time, which is the point of taking a shit or having an orgasm.
It's like a pro athlete about to shoot.
Hey, speaking of taking a shit, let me go take a piss and entertain these cocksuckers. Oh, there's more people here. Hi, guys. You guys can talk to Parsival. He's your new tour guide for your brain, for reality now. I'll be back in 2 minutes.
Artemis is the patron and protectress of virgins, that is, of souls undefiled with the traffic of matter. In this aspect, the moon is the inner atrix, Isis, the enlightener, because through the benefic karma of faith, the souls receives interior illumination, and the darkness recesses of her chamber are lit up by the sacred reminiscences. Hence, the subsequent births of souls become prophetic and divine. But to the corrupt and evil-hearted, the influence of the moon is malignant. For such, she assumes the aspect of Hecate, smiting by night and terrifying with ghostly omens of misfortune. These souls feel no power, and in this instinctive dread may be discerned their secret recognition of the evil fate which they are preparing for themselves in existences to come. The tree of God, the tree of good and evil, says the Kabbalah, has its roots in the moon. The worship of Artemis, or as she is called in Acts, the great goddess Diana, very different from the chaste and beautiful idea of the Greeks. Artemis was a mixture of spiritualism and sensuality. Witchcraft and the worship of the goddess were inextricably interwoven, and the infant church of Ephesus.
All right. All right, we're going back over to my standard chair because I have everything I need here, including my charger. Okay. You can continue if you're talking. I'm not trying to.
No, I was just trying to read something, so it's a bit complex for me.
Your mic is fucked up, Parcel. Your audio, you gotta reset that jumps. Hi guys. Parcel does have calming energy, yes. It's a strange buzz. Hey, I'm about to get a strange buzz. You guys wanna go on a strange journey with me and get a weird buzz? I just started cooking some noodles, but I do have this fucking bottle. You guys wanna have some fun? Come on, why not? Yeah, not enough people take. See, I take calculated risks in life. I'm not a fucking maniac. You know, as weird and strange as I am, I take calculated risks. Like, I left some food out overnight on the stove, so it might have some bacteria in it, but I'm gonna cook it. So calculated risk. I'm not gonna eat something that's been on the stove for 3 days. And I left this alcohol last night. I know the calculated risk I'm taking by doing some shots with you idiots at 1 o'clock on a Monday. So let's go, guys. Gang, let's go. I happen to prefer.
So you finished American Gods, eh?
Oh, I did. It's so good. You know what I didn't realize is I had finished the second season, and I just didn't know it. So I started watching it. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure I've seen this. And then every episode, I would get to the part that I was like, oh shit, I've seen this. And I was like, okay, I must have. I don't know how I watched the second season because I only had the first available. And then, anyway, so I got to the end of it, and season 3 was fabulous. I'm so mad that they didn't let a season 4 happen because I really needed to know. I mean, I obviously the character that everybody hated, they overdid in the book. I heard was good because the dead wife was just reverbing in his brain. Basically, it wasn't actually a physical thing. She was shit in the show, like just absolutely awful, like so awful that like it frustrated me because I'm like, okay, if you just got sent to the under and all of this, like you would have a little bit of change of the way that you perceive things. And there was always this harkening back to like, oh, you believe this weird shit's going on? I'm like, bitch, you just came back from the dead. Your arm is off of you. Like, you just stitched that together. You're watching a glowing light. Like, you got to accept all the shit at this point. You know, there was too many of those parts where I didn't like. And she was just an awful, awful person. Like, she would have. No one is that bad that couldn't change. You know, like that would go, oh, I just met the fucking Egyptian underworld people. Like, I'm in another realm. I just, you know.
Did you watch Moon Knight?
Huh?
Moon Knight.
Oh yeah. I did. And is that a spin-off of that character?
No.
Because that's
No,
his because that's Laura Moon and whatever what was his name again?
I forget. But he was like a few different people in that one character, you know.
Yeah, well, I figured there might have been a similar because they're both Egyptians, the lore. So the show.
Well, they're trying to tell us something, obviously.
Yeah. Both really good shows, though. I'm looking forward to the next season. That's probably already in the can, right? No.
Of Moon Knight, you mean?
Yeah, they have to have the second season that's already filmed.
I'm not sure.
Because that was really good. I really enjoyed that. I liked the duality and his character on the other side of the mirror and all that, and like how different he was. Like that was really interesting.
From all the mythologies, like Egypt really bothers me because I find it very difficult to decipher. You know, I have no idea.
That's what the biggest thing that I got out of all of my research is the mythology of Egypt is really the mythology of America. That even American gods is kind of links to that. And then the physical reality for me is that we can see all the pyramids everywhere else, but in America we have to dig. So if we're at the same place, those pyramids are up here, which means they were built after. And I've seen some pictures and some things saying they might have been built as a mimicry, like even on just a stage, kind of like fakery. They kind of mimicked what was going on. Like the real Nile is the Mississippi. The real, even in that show, I think we've talked about this plenty of times, is the land right there that the Cairo, however you like to say it, where that the two Egyptian gods were the two rivers coming together, where it became the Mississippi or the Nile. It's the reason that town in Egypt is alive today but dead here is because it was here first, and showing that like the ancient civilizations and what was going on. I mean, even the dollar bill, everything we see here is kind of, is mirrored over there. If we look at everything backwards, it ain't out of Africa theory. That's a white man's theory trying to tell black people that are native here to go to Africa, even though Africa those are different people, right?
Everything is out of the north.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is out of the north.
Yeah, out of the north.
Everything comes out of the north. All the races come out of the north.
It would seem I see the one heritage. I would say that the original species here was probably, if we were all born as species on different realms, we were probably born where the equator is, the equilateral, like the equal of everything, and would be the melanated brown race or black or blue race, whatever you like to call it. I think that was maybe what was in the middle. And then you have the idea that the next race was sent outside of the tropics to the Caucasus or Caucasian mountains, so we didn't get the sun. So it's same species, but it didn't develop. And then they came down out of the north or out of the mountains into the lands, and that's where the idea of taking over the South was. But then they flipped it and said, oh, the South had slavery, when in fact the South was already intermingling the white-ish. Do you understand what I'm saying?
The further out we get from the north, the more materialistic things get, and the more dense things get.
Mm-hmm.
Put it that way.
Okay,
So,
I see exactly what you're saying.
Things get more subtle as you get in there, right?
Yes.
So we can assume that outside of these ice walls, there are further advanced civilizations when it comes to material civilization.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
Yeah, let's break that down for people. Okay, the closer you get to sun, it means energy is expanding. You need less. I don't need a hut. I don't need things. I can find it every day. As things compress, as it gets colder and energy starts to compress, I need more layers of protection. I need a house. I need physicality. There needs to be physical items to stand for how dense and condensed ice condenses, and everything becomes, it becomes this thing that we need more technology as you get outside of what the original technology would be, the human being and the sun. That we're walking around with, we just got we got shorts on just because we don't want our things exposed because we're not always procreating, but we cover that up. But the rest of us, we out in the sun, and what do we need? Oh, there's a fruit. I got it. In the north where it's cold, we need a ball or a mason jar to take the food that we could find if summer even happened, and then we got to go dig things up, dense, physical. It's all that landscape there. That's the condensing as you get farther outside of the, I guess, would it be? It's not really Saturnian ring, but the equatorial, the equator. Yeah. So physicality becomes more. It's more dense. That's why I don't think people are supposed to live in the north. So they came out of the north to unthaw.
Well, there is that map right there, right? Right there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I see it. I see where you're going.
So there is one of those islands that's inhabitable, and that would have been your Garden of Eden, when no one
Okay.
ages and things. It would be different.
Yeah, I mean, once you get towards the most part of the magnet, something happens where that is the idea of the center being, the earth goes inwards. Once you get to the center of a magnet, it compresses together and it changes the energies, and it has to go somewhere. It can't just keep going center because it hits, and so it has to compress and make that toroidal field around a magnet, which would
Well,
be
they're
the
telling us
center, which would change
black hole,
the
right?
entire climate of what's in the middle. You know?
Yeah, it would be like summer land.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey, so how many stones did it take to build the Great Pyramid of Giza? 2.4 million. Am I right? I don't know. Let's look it up. I'm just going with my first instinct. 2.4 million stones. I've no idea. Maybe I've read it before, or if that's even close. I might be off by a
I
million.
mean, so you got all these obelisks all around the place, right?
Okay.
Like in every country, they've planted an obelisk.
Mm-hmm.
And
Did you
I
see
just wonder why.
they just dropped they just broke an obelisk that was in Ukraine? This whole Ukraine Russia bullshit, the red blue gold thing. They broke one, and because it was an old Russian one. So what is, there's some significance for what, for why? Like, out of anything you could do in your country, drop an obelisk, which we mostly know that to be some sort of pin. There's an electromagnetic thing from an ancient culture or civilization to collect energy or to exude energy. But why break that? What is that symbolically?
It's a
Why even
penis.
build it? Could you imagine today if we were like, hey, we're just artists. Okay, you want to just build a giant tall just a big brick fucking thing? No, that's stupid. What are you talking about? If I was like, hey, I'm an engineer and I know this thing can, radio waves and take static electricity and power things, you'd be like, oh fuck yeah. And why do you think they're everywhere? Because a bunch of stupid idiot people are like, let's see how tall we can make these big fucking penis like structures. People don't. Yeah. They base and base. Juniper said made me think about the word survival. Yeah, a dude I met years and years ago, Daniel Vitalis. Oddly, his last name is Vitalis. He was into vitality, spring water, clean water. He was a vegan, vegetarian for a long time. Now he's into raw food and hunting and into meat. Interesting fellow. Cool dude. I met him, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago. And he took the word survive and thrive and called it surthrival. It's like the way that you surthrive. You do well, but you thrive. It's not just survive just means you're just like grinding through the muck, and thriving. It's like surthrival. I thought that was a really good taking two words and putting it together.
I mean, I admire people who can have that mindset of they thriving out here. You know, I admire that.
No, I admire him more now because he went through the whole thing. He was hanging out with David Avocado Wolf, man. Like he was spitting that game. He knew his shit. I smoked the greenest of greens, and he had some things you shouldn't have. We're eating gold out of the ground and hunting for water, and he's speaking. He did I hung out with him the whole weekend. It was fucking awesome. And he went from being a vegan and harvesting spring water to going straight bow and arrow, killing deer and sucking the blood out of them. Now, if that ain't a transition, I'm not saying you should be doing either of them, because you know me. I will definitely never be a vegan, but hey, if I got to suck the blood out of the butthole of a cow, I'm down for it. But I'm just saying, like, I think they're both a little strange, but the fact that he was most vegans will never go that far. Although you're watching it happen, because in this sense, where the people that went really vegan and started to really take a good assessment of their health going downhill really quickly into decline, they immediately jumped and went to the other side and said, I'm a carnivore, and I'm on this carnivore diet, and all my ailments have went away, and I'm healthier, which they're going to be. But they just jumped over the middle part and going, there's a middle ground here where you can kind of just get rid of the plastic, get rid of killing all the shit. Just kind of, there's a happy little place here. And they just went the other way. And we're seeing a lot of that happen too. I don't know where I'm going with all this other than say that's really cool that Daniel Vitalis went from seeing all the failures in veganism, because he even said, he's like, I just watched my health go to after 7 years of doing this, he's like, I got weaker and weaker. He's like, I don't know why. Well, too much plastic, bro. What else we had here? Notre Dame Cathedral, spiraling. Yeah, the catheters. Cathedrals are catheters. It's how they. It's the reason the name is. So if you stick something into something as a catheter to suck blood out, that's what a cathedral is. It's sucking the energy out of the earth, and just like taking blood, it's the same word, same root.
Catholic.
Oh, your mic's doing it again, man. That's the only thing that sucks about this fucking this. It's really bad. It sounds like you're talking to a robot. A robot.
I'm gonna catch you there.
Okay. Toodles, noodles.
Cheers.
Strudels.
Thanks, man.
Good to see you.
See you soon. Yeah.
Is my mic still good on this side? Is it still good over here? Is Brandon up in here? Oh, I missed a bunch of comments. Yeah, if anybody else wants to jump in here, it's awesome to hear Parsival add some dynamics to what the fuck's going on here. If we start a show where it's like me and Parsival doing something, I would probably shut my mouth a little more. I didn't know how long he was going to be on here. Mike is good. Cathedral, spires, spiraling, catheters. So you have the pyramids, which are, so you have cathodes, catheters, cathedrals. So it's the electromagnetics use cathodes. Yeah, that was good. Yeah, I see. I would like to do that for 2 hours with him and explore that further. And I was trying to talk quickly and get through some bigger ideas that he was saying that I understood. I just didn't know that I was trying to explain it in a way that maybe someone knew. It was like, what is he saying? Like, what, colder? Getting into that kind of shit. So I was trying to expressly dissipate that information. Oh shit! This motherfucker just fell down. Get over here! Ah! I dropped my little guy. This little guy, Hawaii guy. Check him out. There. Get over here! Oh, that's where I screwed up the whole thing. Put my beer and my vodka in here. It's not a bad look. Beer, iced tea and vodka. Not bad. It takes away the sweetness. Adds a little bubbly. I'm good with it. Seen that little guy? Yeah. I don't know. I don't. He's not that little, is he? He's not. He's probably a normal size human. He's probably like, I would say normal size human is 5'8", 5'9". Isn't that normal for men? You tiny little humans. What, this thing? This thing? This thing? Listen up. I'm retarded. I know. Oh, this guy. Oh, you haven't seen this guy. Oh. Yeah, this guy. Yeah. He sits over here next to me. Next to my no, I've gotten so many like little trinkets and gifts and what do you call these things? You know how they say in the Bible and in most things have no idol word. This is not an idol of mine, but he's awesome. It's like sometimes I get really fucking high. Imagine that. Yeah, me. And I have so many elephants, and it will something will happen in my brain. I mean, I watch it happen. I just abide by it. I'm like, the dude abides. And I'll go over and I'll say hello and goodbye to every one of these elephants that I have. I get it. It's just a little thing, but it's kind of like having something. It's a token of remembrance. It's called an eidolon or how does your boy say it? Give me 1 second. I'm trying to give you the correct terminology. The point is, if you have a physical object that is an icon of worship, you shouldn't have that. You should. The point of remembrance is that you remember anyways. So like I remember those elephants. I don't need to actually go over there and be like, hey, what? Just hold on to this idol worship. This is my God. This is my thing. This is my memory to my past and my, it's like a token that you can have that will give you remembrance of your God. You are God, or a God, or some person, or a memory, or your history, or ancestry, or your lineage, or your heritage. A physical token is very important, but only can do so much. It's I'm trying to think of his name. He came out with. It's really bizarre to me because he came out with 3 really great movies that most people that are into this type of community know. And I'm just tripping on his name right now, and I know this is going to be a tough find for someone. But if you could dial into my brain right now, he made. Here we go. He made Esoteric Agenda. I want to call this. I'm going to call him Brian, but his name's not Brian. And he talks about what these tokens and these icons are, and there's two specific names he gives to it. And I don't know why I'm tripping on it right now, but the point is that yes, you can have these things around you, but they're not the actual thing. Like I don't need to have this thing in my hand to know who, why, and how I obtain this. Even if I gave this to someone else, I'd still know that I had this. And I'd still know what it means. I still have the meaning. It's like having. It's like you don't know why, but you can tell the story despite not. It's like a loci. It's a locator. If I were to walk up to you and I tell you a story and I put a locator right here. I pinch you right here and I talk to you and I tell you a story. This is one level of psychological persuasion. It's hypnosis. And I'm using a trigger or a loci point. And I could tell you a story and that story will make you laugh. And you'll laugh. And I remember that. So every time I touch you, you'll laugh. And then next time I touch you there, you will laugh. And you might even forget the fucking story. But you'll know as soon as I touch there that the trigger is to laugh. Just like this. Now what I do is I don't need the trigger. I already know the story. And that's what's kept up here. It's kept in your actual spiritual body rather than having a physical thing. And this is advanced level shit. This is why I say you should draw out your things, write it, use a paper, a papacy, a pencil, a pen, pentagram, and a papacy, paper, a pen and paper, pa, the father. Would you burn paper, papacy, pencil, pentagram? You can draw with it, which is use carbon to create a sigil. That sigil becomes something you burn and creates magic into the ether and brings it back to you. You can use those things. Great idea. But the best thing is that it's all contained within self, within mind, within your, that's where you keep it. You don't get a backpack. You don't get a you don't get a pencil or a pen. You don't get that shit through death. You don't get that into your dream world. You either know it or you don't know it. So to have actual knowing of something trumps the entire idea of a physical manifest object, because I could create another one. Even if I gave this away, I could produce another one. I could procure this entire thing. I could have the person that I gave it to bring it back to me. Servitors. Servitors are. I'll show you. There you go. Servitor. Servitor. It's called a Meeseeks. Rick and Morty. This is what a servitor is. They show you in real time magic. This servitor goes off and does a job, comes over here, and he goes, "Hey, I'm Mr. Meeseeks, and I'm going to help you do something." And as soon as you do it, it vanishes. It's equivalent to the minions. A servitor is a minion, is a Meeseeks. That's what it is. It accomplishes a task and it's gone. And you can create them mentally. You can create them on a piece of paper, and then you go through these steps of the steps of magic of creating a sigil, then a servitor, and you get into the higher level stuff until you make a grimoire, and then you can make a physical thing, which you don't want to do. Yeah, angels are higher values of serving the God form. God form is the highest. God form is supposed to just be you, but some people make an alternate version of themselves as a God form, which then becomes Tron, a digital God form. They can do it in a physical form too, and that's done in hoodoo, which is not. It use clay to create another living being. Not a good idea, because then it can get a mind of its own. You create beneath that. It's not a good idea. And this is why I've only talked about it a few times and I will not teach it because it doesn't make any sense. And people that, if you want to make a digital representation, you realize let's go into another level, let's go into another game here. When you make yourself a digital archetype, a digital equivalent to yourself. You're creating a two-dimensional, because you're three-dimensional. You're making a two-dimensional construct in a computer system, allegory, analogy, parallel, computer-based system of self. You're creating a God form that is just like Tron. It was called Clue. It was him in a mirror. A mirror is two dimensions. You're in three dimensions. So that 2 dimensions isn't you. It's a two-dimensional version of a three-dimensional self. Here, 3 dimensions on me. And in fact, 4, 5, 6, 10D. Whoa. And you create that, and that's equivalent of it's a secondary self. It's a good thing to do. I think make yourself your, what do they call it now on the computers? Make yourself do that thing. It's a good idea because if you do it enough, you'll figure out how you would become if you acted like that. Most people, they'll make their, what do they call them? See, I can't even think of it because this is just what I am. If I created that thing on the computer, it would be the same thing I'm doing anyways. Yeah, some people, what they'll do is they'll be the most evil thing possible, or the sexiest thing possible, or they'll become a man or become a woman. They'll become all these different things, and they'll explore that. And that's great. That's a good thing. That's a good thing for the computer system, and figure out what they would actually be in real life. Would you travel through the computer being the way you actually are now, or do you want to try something different? And that's what that space should be doing. But it's capturing people too much, and they forget who they are. So they just end up becoming that two-dimensional, I don't know, that being that they are on the. It's like whenever people are online acting a certain way or typing something or and then they go out in public, which they don't do often, and they act like that, and they get smacked around, like, because you're not that. That's not how you are, and that's not going to work well. Most people, the way they act on this shit is not how they act out there. No way. Uh-uh. It's a and especially in a computer game, they're not acting. I'm not saying themselves here in this physical reality is the best version, but I'm not saying that is the best version. That's just they're just trying on different skin suits. They're trying on different play basketball. They're gonna be, oh, I want to be 6 foot tall with this, and no, I want to be a midget that can pass the ball. They do go through all these different these archetypes, these players, these versions, these masks, these things. Yeah, sentimental. I miss what we were talking about. Hey, let me go grab another beer because this is fun. You guys having fun? And let me tell me tell me where to go with this. Do you want me to keep going with this concept of 2 dimensions, the digital realm, holographic realm, I don't want to get in the Matrix kind of shitty, but the shitty shits. Maybe what the dream world serves. I don't know. Let me know. Let me just go fill my drink up. Oh, in the interim, here, have some music. You goofs. Acoustic? Is this mine? Let's see what happens. Well, hello there. I'm back. What's up, Branson? Some more theory of AI. Let's, let's break that down a little bit. Man, this you get me really heavy. This is where I should definitely have started with smoking some weed or something, or been in a different space, because it's going to be a little bit of a challenge. But okay, artificial intelligence. When I say that, you have an idea and you think computer. Computer. There's nothing artificial about computer. You created it. It's kind of like saying organic and inorganic, in the sense of what is human, what's inhuman, what's natural, what's artificial, what's organic, what's inorganic. These kind of things. We created the computer. Is this artificial? No. Somebody created it though. At what point, when tools start solving problems, tools were always there to solve a problem, to make something easier. I want to scratch my back. Look at simplest tool. It's a stick with some scratchy thing. Scratch my back. Tool, solving a problem. At what point does this become smart enough for me not even to touch anything to scratch my back for me? I'd have to do a bunch of different calculations that I'd have to do to put in there and program for it to do. So it's only resolved based upon the parameters that I've instructed it upon. It can't solve outside of that. What we'd call actual artificial intelligence is when somehow it's solving problems that we don't think we can solve. So we've given it as much. We've given an inorganic, artificial, that's the things you call it, non-living system. This is not living. We can totally agree this is a piece of wood. There's no brain. There's no hands. It's not functioning. It's not breathing. There's nothing going on. It's a dead. Dead is artificial in a sense, right? So we take a dead system and give it the capacity to mimic human emotion, life, energy, shit like that. I think we've only contributed and confusing ourselves. Stop putting human bodies on robots. Stop putting, stop making it look too much like you. Stop making it do all the creative things you can do. Just be creative and enjoy making mistakes and enjoy learning. The robots and the computers and what you call artificial intelligence are to do redundant tasks for you. It's not to learn for you. You do the learning. Even if it gave you, it's like if someone gives you the answer, it doesn't mean you know how to do it. So artificial intelligence will give you an answer, but you don't know how it got to that conclusion. Here, let me give you an example. I'm Michael Jordan, and I can put a basketball in a hoop better than you can. I can show you how it's done all day. That's amazing. You don't know how to do it, do you? You can't do it. Why? Because you didn't go through the thought process, the learning, the education. You didn't put the practice in. You didn't put the work in, and you don't want to. So he is in every way an artificial construct because you could never do that. So he's superhuman. He's artificial. No, he just put the work in, so he knows. It's like somebody that can do a math problem you can't. When you were 5, you couldn't do the math problem you could do when you were 10. You couldn't speak the language now that when you were 10, you weren't speaking this language. So that just because I give you a word doesn't mean you know what it means. You don't know where it came from or how it works. Just because you can say it. I listened to this kid tell a joke the other day. He said, he was probably 10 years old. He said, what is the how's the pizza, what are similar between a pizza delivery boy? He's 10. I can tell just by the sound of his voice. He's talking to his mom. How are a pizza delivery boy and a gynecologist the same? This is a 10-year-old kid saying this. And he goes, you can smell it, but you can't eat it. Now, to me, that's a fucking hilarious joke. To you, that's a fucking funny joke. Why? Because you eaten pussy before, or you got a stinky pussy, or you have a clean pussy, you gotten your pussy eaten. This kid never did. He's seen a picture of a pussy online. He never seen one. He doesn't know what a pussy smells like. He doesn't no clue. Now he's laughing and he thinks it's funny, but he doesn't know how or why it's funny. He said it just like artificial intelligence would say something, and have no clue why a robot doesn't know what pussy smells like. It doesn't smell. It's never eaten pussy. It's never played with it. So in the same way that kid is telling this joke at 10 years old, he has no qualifiers for why that's funny. He's just laughing. He's a robot. Ha, that's funny. That ain't funny to you. And it ain't funny coming from you because you don't know what it means. It's like somebody saying something in another language, they don't know what it means. I mean, I grew up and I used to play soccer with the international team. They spoke different languages. And when I was in high school, this one kid was from Thailand, and he'd say, "Bukandado mamilo," and he'd get a kick out of it. We'd all say it. He'd be laughing at it, and we'd tell him, "Hey, say fuck you, your mom's a fat cunt," or something. He'd say, "Fuck you, your mom, you fat cunt," or whatever. And that's funny, but they don't know what they're saying, so it's humorous to not. The person's going, "Oh, I have no idea what this is." Just like that kid was, just like artificial intelligence is. It means you don't have a foundation under which to stand upon to even have a meaning or knowledge of why something is as it is. Just because you can do it and you can mimic it. Here's the joke. That's funny. Doesn't actually mean it. So it's not it has no awareness or cognition or coherence or comprehension of how and why something is as it is. Whether it's built a way, why is it built that way? To get across the bridge, I can get across the bridge to get to the other side. But why is it built with the structure the way it is? Why is it fundamentally? Why are these shapes this way to keep this thing up? And why would I even want to? And then furthermore, why do you even want to get to the other side? Why is the chicken on the other side? What's on the other side? There's too many variables that this thing can't even answer. Just like within the joke, the kid doesn't know what he's saying. Just like a computer artificially does not know the complete context of the equation. A computer cannot understand the square root of the universe. It doesn't know what it means to have its butthole eaten. Doesn't know why you'd want to spray your ass with a bidet. Doesn't know why a mother's milk is nourishing. It cannot know these things because it was built. It was not made by whatever the fuck it is that's happening. It just so happens that a flower grows. There's your lesson on artificial intelligence for the day. Where are we at? Hey, why didn't you Junipers, why didn't you put a laugh track in there somewhere? What's up, Taro? What's up? I'm watching a video right now. Well, a series on. I believe it's called Wild. It's called Wild Babies. That is kind of a theme of what we've been talking about. If you really paid attention to these things, the last 6 hours, well, 2.5, 3.5, 4 hours. And I'm watching a wild baby brown bear. So cute. And how they're learning things. And so I would play the music, but you know how that shit works. You can never tell who's gonna be stealing my. I don't see whenever somebody does a copyright thing on my channel, it's silly because I can't earn any money on it. So they're not. What are they claiming? it's for the purpose if I were ever to make my channel valuable, which it really is, obviously. But if I were to make money off it, they would claim the money because over the course of 3 hours there was one song of theirs in the background, which is totally it's so stupid. It's like I understand completely, absolutely. Creative, if you want to own your creativity and your song, your music, your voice, whatever. But if I'm making a 3-hour video and there's a piece of your shit in here, you don't deserve the 2 hours and 59 minutes of what I did. Yeah, fair usage. I mean, obviously, what the fuck else would I be doing? Like, if really somebody was claiming my material, you could probably start finding dead people that I've read their books or watched some documentaries, or you could probably claim about 81% of this. The other 90% is my original thought that I came up with somehow. But, if you really needed to, why did he say that? Somebody else said that. Well, I said it my own way. Thanks. Speaking of all evolution, I can't recall the name of the program, but I'll post it when I do. Really amazing. It's fucking amazing. Here's what's amazing. I can smell. I just started cooking some. I'm making some ramen noodles because I want to have a little snack. So what I'm gonna let you do is listen to a little more of my music while I put my noodles on because I just started heating up something. You'll see. Listen to this music, and I'll be back in 4 minutes. Enjoy, mother bitches. Mother bichos, you enjoy this. Let me find what's on here. Mexican, you want some Mexican shit? New Orleans shit? Some fresh shit? Let me see what I got. Now, what this? Well. What's up, Jeremiah? Back and forth. I said 4. That was probably 8 minutes ago. Took me a little. I had to smash up some garlic and some onions. So I have like a already made soup from yesterday, but I wanted some fresh garlic and onions in the first part of my noodle dish. I'll be adding some yesterday because there's also sauerkraut and some other spices and herbs in there. It's just thick and rich. I'm gonna add that to I'm gonna add yesterday's soup to today's soup, which is ramen noodles and onions and garlic, and I'm gonna add tomatoes in a second, fresh tomatoes. Swell. And in the interim, I will be having a beer with you guys, talking about who knows what. So I think we've covered a shit ton of topics, including, man, lots of different stuff, huh? Even had a special guest of Parsival. And for anybody else on here, if you want to, you can share the screen right here with me. See it right there. It says StreamYard.com AP5HAKUXEB. You can put that in, and I can let you in the room. You can talk to me. You can piss me off. I'll shit all over you with my vomitous mouth. But normally I'm pretty nice to talk. And I don't even have to let you know if I don't like you. But if you come through, feel free. You can share the screen and we can talk or whatever. Or just type something in there and I will address these things while I'm crushing some PBRs and some. I got 2 empty PBRs and a mixed drink. I still have coffee. But what time is it? 2:00. Okay, I can drink coffee up until 3, and then it's all downhill after there because too much caffeine in my system. I don't work well. I mean, I work well, but I mean, I just won't be able to sleep. And I need my rest because I'm still healing from a faulty set of circumstances. Caused a little chaos in my system. Getting back up to 100% Zen mode. Guess I'm not gonna say anything. I'll just play more music. How's that, bitches? What you think about that? Play it in the background because I do have to go collect my. It only takes 3 minutes for the noodles to be up to par because I don't want them soggy. So you guys, give me 3 more minutes and you go listen to Fried. It's called Fried. Whoa, what's going on here? Who's disappeared? I don't know. Seems to be a few people here. Hello there. I'm back. Back in Axiom. Oh shit. I think I watched did I watch the whole thing? On Baby Animals? Oh shit, I must have. Okay, next one. I am back. I was just some of you got babs, babies. You got to check on. I had to check on my baby. It was a noodles, eggs, and some carrots and onions and garlic and stuff that I was cooking. I had to check on it. And you know what I hate about boiling eggs sometimes is whenever you drop it in and it cracks, and then you get the side of it that just it blows out, and you got the weird little it's like hard boiled. So why I do soft boiled eggs, and the side is kind of like outside of. So it's kind of like if you had an egg and it broke while the baby was forming, and then its brain and its head was like all outside of the egg. That's just what happened. It's a little retarded egg. It's basically. I'm gonna eat it anyways. Just like if my baby came out all deformed, I would eat it. Just like an animal would. And I'm watching a show called Animals. So who's here? What's up? What's going on? What are we talking about? What are we getting into? I've covered lots of things. We've covered animalistic nature, AI, psychology, philosophy of some certain things, especially psychological dispositions of cluster bees, and how most of the culture is narcissistic and sociopathic. It's kind of like environmentally it's right now in the world it's very challenging not to become self-centered, narcissistic, sociopathic assholes. That's what the environment breeds. The only way you can escape that is to understand that that's what they're trying to make you. So the environment is not only where you put your feet, but what you're putting into your ears and eyes. And if you can transmute the environment, meaning just because I see something ill or hear something or consume, or it doesn't mean I have to be that way, because I could understand it. But everybody else, like they're running in the muck of everything is. If you really just watched the television or watched the internet, as most people, they watch it. They just look at it and go, oh, they're consumed by it. If you observed it from it's over there and it's probably not true anyways, you have a different perspective on it, and it wouldn't affect you the same. Most people are immersed in it, and they become the thing that the television, that the media, they're all cowards, obviously, because they won't do it themselves. They need to have 20 steps removed from touching people's ideas through chemicals, through these things. They don't want to get their hands dirty. Oh, I didn't do it. That's what they like. They can just shift the blame and say no, wipe their hands clean. I didn't actually kill the thing. Yeah, I didn't influence it. Yeah, you're 20 steps removed, but you're the one that instigated it. It's like people that instigate shit. They don't. Whenever they catch a fucking backhand in the face, then they cry and they claim to be the victims. You know these people that instigate shit to then get their fucking face smacked open, and then they cry about it, and they always play victim. They play the victim game, even though they instigated. I'm say this every time. This is what the fuck they do. But anybody that with reality in their vision, they go, "Oh, I know exactly what they did," and they attempted that, and they thought they could just slide through because they're fed on what they see on the media. Watch any sports game. The person that commits the first foul, not noticed. The person that responds to it is noticed. Doesn't mean the person that commits the first foul isn't at fault for it. Well, you should just turn the other cheek like Jesus. Oh, that's not how that works, because then you'd be blind and you'd be dead. Yeah, as I do, but draining. I don't know what that. Rebecca, I don't know what that means. Hey, let me finish off my little dish of snacks right now, and you guys talk amongst yourselves. You can have one more song. This should take me 4 minutes to finish up what I'm doing, and then I'll be back with 100% of my attention. Focus on all of you. So enjoy this. Hope you like. I don't know what I'm going to play right now. Let's see. Try this one. See what happens.
Moving straight to the top, coming with the pull up for the number one spot.
Well, is there anyone here left? What's anybody doing? Can never tell what's going on. What do we got here? Let's divine some knowledge of the monkeys. Oh, it's orangutan. I mean, does anybody really like just off the cuff know the difference between a monkey, an orangutan, an ape, a gorilla? I think you probably could. Gorilla's the biggest, an ape is a little smaller. An orangutan is longer. A monkey is kind of just. But what are they? Like we always say, okay, when somebody says, "Oh, our closest known relative," whether you believe you were crossbred or hybridized with the Rh gene, the rhesus, or monkey, Rh negative, isn't that monkey blood or something? Or is that close to apes? Man, whoever you are, if you just think you're hybridized or evolved or whatever. What about all these other species? Are they species? Are they same mother? See, it's a goofy. It's goofy. What are they? Were they made in a laboratory? Which I would probably suggest they were either kind of like plants or genetically gene modification, which does not happen in nature. Not naturally. Can't. Let me explain to you again. Very simple. An orange will produce an orange until it doesn't produce an orange, and it just is a degraded, disgusting version of an orange. It's not going to produce a strawberry. It's definitely not going to produce a fish, and a fish won't produce. A fish doesn't grow legs. It's just the dumbest thing. But you think you came from a fish that swam out of water that started to breathe? No, it would go to water, would just die. There wouldn't some evolutionary occurrence that the next generation like, oh, we have to breathe. No, that doesn't work that way. Y'all talking silly. And an ape that became, or was it gorilla, or was it a monkey? It became weaker, started growing hair in different places, decided to start eating meat rather than just eating, and so it was stronger and could survive in all sorts of climates. And now all of a sudden we need to put clothes on. They didn't put clothes on, and we're making fire. So you got smarter, just evolving from. That's so stupid. Must have been something else. Look up intervention theory by Lloyd Pye, Lloyd, or is it Lloyd and Pye, Lloyd Pye. Intervention theory. Gorillas don't grow this. They have hair on their back. I have hair on my chest and none on my back. They don't grow this. Weird. I don't know. Not the same species. Evolution's a joke. You can morph. Morphing is real. Evolution of awareness or consciousness, understanding is real. But evolving towards something you morph. It doesn't mean better. It's different. You morph things. Anyways, what are we talking about? Is anybody here? It's apparently more than a handful of people. Our biological makeup will evolve. No, it won't. It will change, alter, morph. Evolution is mind. If your mind evolves, whatever you think evolution is, it just changes. It changes to, it's pragmatic to facilitate your comprehension and involvement in any type of environment. So for you to exist in certain spaces, it doesn't require evolution. Evolution doesn't make a land animal better than a fish, or a flying animal worse than a fish, or any of this, or a man better than. None of that is all better or worse. Evolution requires the observation that something is better than or worse than. Evolving is the imprint of you thinking you're better than an amoeba, except there's amoebas that you came from. So you're no better than amoeba. You're no better than the simple systems that make up you as a totality. Evolution doesn't occur. Morphing or changing or altering structure occurs. A circle is not better than a triangle. A triangle is not better than a square. A bear is fit for its environment. A fish is fit for an environment. I'll make it simple for you. If you were to judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, or a monkey's ability to swim 5 miles underwater, you'd quickly come to the realization that evolution doesn't occur and nothing is better than another. Physicality evolves regardless. No, it doesn't. It morphs. A tall person is not better than a short person. I get taller, it doesn't mean I'm better than a short person. I'm gonna be a stickler for what you think maybe is fucking with language, using syntax and semantics. You think I'm playing with semantics? No, I'm using a logic here. Logic. If we take logic and happiness together, the where we are as a society and a culture does not seem evolved, because I don't think people are happier today to the point of having more technology. It seems, and it's been shown, many studies have been done on poorer places with less technology are happier without more technology. Thus, they have not evolved technologically or mentally. They seem to be, ignorance seems to be blissful. So is evolution, or what you'd call evolving towards what? Physical, mental, spiritual, technological? How about happiness? Happiness quotient never reaches the board. Everybody's looking to be bigger, stronger, faster, smarter. How about happier? And that old quote by John Lennon says, somebody asked me what I want to be when I grow up, and I said happy. Isn't that evolution towards joy and happiness? You cannot explain to me good artwork, good music, happiness. You can't Zen in the art of motorcycle maintenance. You can quantify anything, but you cannot qualify happiness. Well, the aliens would be us. Alien comes from the word alien. Alien is what? Something that is foreign to your general comprehension. Hey, let me go get the rest of my noodles. Here, have another song for everybody here. I love when people. I'll explain to something when I get back. It's very funny to me. What do I got? Goody? Is this one that's broken? Yep, that got broke. I don't know why that one got broken. I gotta I really like that one. I gotta delete it because it. Huh. Try this. This might work. So I'll go on one of my favorite subjects. And it's there's not that many people left. Good. I mean, no, everyone should know this, but and I've done plenty of shows on it. So it's on logical fallacies and presumption of knowledge. Most of what people know, they think they know. I don't know shit. Is the presumption of an absolute of knowledge. I can give you a presumption of absolute knowledge. This right here is a piece of plastic. It's remote control. It's no presumption. This is what it is. Now I can prove that it's plastic based upon a bunch of things that we can prove this is plastic. But this is a remote control. Now, in most of life, this does not stand up in law, and it does not in the law of science either. You know what I mean? Like scientific knowledge or lawfulness. One of the first things you should be taught, but you taught way later, is you can't base any premise on an idea of perceived knowledge, perceived assumptions. You're making an assumption. You can't start with the assumption. And when you start with an assumption, what you're doing is you're making a hypothesis. Your hypothesis is based on an idea of let me tell you how this works, and your presumption is this is how it works. Well, the best way to do science is to give me something that's valid. What are we trying to prove here? What is the? Let's use an example. I'll give you a real world example. Right now, here's what you know. Empty your mind. You know nothing. Walk outside and prove to me that this place that we live is a ball, and it's spinning and going through outer space, and there's a sun 93 million miles away, and there's a moon 238,000 miles away, and we're spinning, it's corkscrewing through the universe, and explain that to me and prove that to me. So your assumption is that is that your assumption? Why? Well, I mean, if you started with a mind full of knowledge, you'd go, well, I've been told this. Well, no, maybe just that's your assumption. Now prove that assumption. And then I'll have you, after that, with an empty mind, prove that this is a still, flat, realm, plane, level, all this. And we're sitting here, center of creation, and there's something spinning above us, a couple of things and objects, and there's something spinning. And we're sitting here in a stand. We're still. As long as we take that we don't have any preconceived conditions that either of those are true, and we're trying to prove for that. What we don't have is cognitive biases. What we don't have is all of these tactics to explain something away. So if you know nothing, then you'll get to the right answer, perhaps. Or at least closer to what might be the truth. But when we start with logical fallacies, means that I'm going to use all of these things to support an argument, which to begin with could be true, it could be false, but it comes from the place of having an argument to say that's the truth, even though you don't know the truth. You're trying to find the truth, and the truth will reveal itself. You don't start with that's the truth. Jesus is the truth. Muhammad's the truth. That guy's the truth. That woman's the truth. That's the goddess. That's the earth. You're trying to prove something. No. If you allow for the truth to exist, you'll find it by having no preconceived notions. That's fun. I like that. Preconceived notions. I got you. Where did my shit go wrong? So if logical fallacies are back to the audio stopped again. Is it better? So if you start with no preconceived notions, your logical fallacies will always lead you to the result that you wish to obtain. And so you can jump through hoops and you can sidestep certain things to get to what you consider a logical equation to prove something that you believed. So your belief will inhibit your methodology of doing what you consider a scientific method. Scientific method is a discovery learning method where
The outcome is what it is, and you'll see it. It's not trying to prove an outcome that you already have conceived of in your mind, which will allow for only a direct, like an indirect path to find that. It proves nothing. So logical fallacy gets in the way of everything that people do on a regular basis. Your logic is garbage because you don't follow a logical path. You follow a path
to get to something. It's like having a map to say the treasure's here. So you're trying to prove that treasure. What if I say the treasure is I don't know where, but let's see where it is. I'll get to it, and it might not be where it says it is on the map, but you're trying to prove it is on the map. What if it's like 20 steps removed from that? What if it's over there? What if the map was telling you the wrong way? You're looking at a menu thinking you're going to eat that. You're looking at a map thinking you're getting to the Earth is spinning through outer space, blah, blah, blah. So you're already leaning towards that objective of having everything you do to prove or disprove what I'm saying and prove what you're saying. And this is what people do on a regular basis because they're not interested in the truth or reality or facts. They're interested in their understanding, standing under some truth that they were given and provided to say that's the truth. They don't like their ego and their capacity to really desire what's real. They don't like that because they have to extinguish what they have to throw out there what's in their cup. Did the audio get restarted? Why do you think the pop-ins with other dimensions happen? Let's see where we at. Is the audio get reset now? Nothing but I sense and see through sense. I don't. That's just words, Rebecca. That's just words. I really don't know what that means. Like that's just like saying something that sounds profound that really has no bearing or reality whatsoever. Nothing but I sense and see through sense. I don't know. I really don't know what that means. If there's a way of expressing that in a different way. I don't know what you mean. Like I sense something, so I'm seeing through that sense that I sense. Is it kind of redundant? What about your sixth sense that you can't see and feel? You know, it's just something. Are you seeing through your sixth sense? What about your seventh? Is there 100 of them? Yeah, I don't know. That's a confusing one. Oh, but that my noodles. I had some noodles and I added some apple cider vinegar, carrot, onion. I wish I had broccoli, but I had like a whole mixed bag of things. Oh, no worries. Yeah. Hmm. The audio. Yeah, I figured there was a Juniper. I figured there were 6 other people that could have jumped in there and said something, but they're too busy flicking the old bean. Oh, and here's an instead of a monkey, a gorilla, or ape. And why does their shit do Homer Simpson thing? The Homer Simpson thing? The humans don't do that. Why do their lips go out like that? And he's eating a bark of a tree. Humans don't do that. And they're not killing anything. They're not hunting. They're not starting a fire. They're not burning anything. And they seem to survive and be pretty strong. I don't know. It's weird how that works. And they're just hanging from a tree, just bugging out a tranquil forest. Oh, and then the flat-faced fuckers. He looks more Chinese, right? Flat face, nose in here, flattened, wings out here. Different thing altogether. Are we similar looking? Yeah, in the sense that we have 2 eyes and nose and all that. But like, is that a more advanced species or less advanced? I don't know. Can't really tell. Is it evolved, or are we evolved from that? See, that goes back in this earlier conversation about oh, you sleepy? Okay, sleepyhead. Good to see you. Good to see you, Rebecca. Um, yeah, I wonder like what's to say. This goes back into the first show that I did about time isn't anything. There's no karma. If there's no karma, there's no evolution. If there's no evolution, like what was okay? Fine, there's evolution. What evolved to what? Are we certain that a higher species is not a monkey? Because they don't seem to be they seem to be doing less harm to the world. They seem to be needing less things. They don't need to make clothes. They don't need to make a hut. They seem to be living. They seem to be not killing things. They're not hunting things. They seem to be surviving, existing. They seem to be caring. I don't know. Is that a higher form? How can we say? We can't really. How do you say less advanced? So an advanced species will make all the weapons of war and destroy each other and poison each other. Motherfuckers are poisoning your water. You see, I'm just going to explain to you how stupid that sounds, just from a baseline. Those monkeys are not, those gorillas, those elephants, those animals, wild, less evolved, less advanced. They're not poisoning my fucking water. But the people that look like me, they're poisoning my fucking water. They're poisoning my food. They're enslaving me. They're entrapping me. They're doing all of this shit, dog. And they're poisoning them too. And they're killing things. They're killing them so I can eat them. That seems a little bit less evolved, warlike, monstrosity, evil in any way. Those motherfuckers ain't doing that. And you're gonna tell me it's more evolved to be more warlike? That's ignorant at best. No humans are above animals, then shush. Fuck you, cunt. Don't ever shush me. Slow your fucking mouth right now. You do not get to shush me. This is my show, and I'm right and you're wrong. Don't shush me. Don't do that. It's just not. It's uncouth. You're don't shush. It's not kosher. You know what I'm saying? Like everything's been walking along here fine. We're having a great conversation, and you shush me. You don't shush me from typing. Don't do that. There's no reasoning. Yeah, you're the devil. Yeah, that's why you got red hair. You'd play the devil's advocate. I'm just saying, if we advance thought, consciousness, and awareness here, what would be better? Loving, caring society that doesn't put fluoride in water, that doesn't make weapons of war, that shares things, which all of these animals are doing. That seems to be far more advanced than what humans are doing. To be able to use this thing here to display the type of knowledge that I have readily available for anyone that wants my sharing and caring, and then you shush me? You see how dumb that is? You can do that. Have fun doing that. It just puts you in the level of demon seeds and ignorance and rude. Does it not? Who would shush me when I'm just speaking an absolute on my thing? Like, who would do that? I said what I said. You can't deny the fact that people poison water. Deny it. You're wrong. People do it. They put fluoride in. Is fluoride poison? Yes. Are you enslaved to a monetary system? Yes, you are. You fucking certainly are. Do you like being stuck in your house? You like having your children and your husband that, you like all that shit? You like all that control, those modules of how you have succumbed to a system? Are they doing that? Are they poisoning us? No, they're not. No, come on, me. Don't shush me and you don't get this. Don't disagree with a fact. See, this is exactly what I was talking about before. Preconceived ideas of what you think truth is, because you don't like truth. Truth is those things are not trying to hurt me. We've pushed them outside and put them into cages in zoos. Well, maybe correct. No, that's how you typed. It took you thinking that to type it and think it was a good idea. And you already know how I would respond to that. So that's what you get. That's how I talk. All right. Well, I'm not being rude either. I'm just stating a simple fact. Is my facts wrong? No, they are not. So be it. Moving on from this. Have a beautiful night. Sleep well. Dream about the monkeys that have enslaved you. What movie is that? Or attempting to anyway. What's that movie with all the where all the gorillas or the monkeys or the apes or whatever? The ape society where they take over everything. I don't know. Seems like they just learned from us, huh? Give them a couple weapons. Give them some. If you gave them some Uzis, let those gorillas, those apes, those monkeys, all that shit, let them loose and give them all weapons. See what happens. I'd like to see that. Well, what's next? Moving on to new life goals here. A little bit of a companion of mine. It's a little Zen book, and we will talk about the map is not the territory. Did I just say that? Turn right to the page. I told you we do a little divining. The map is not the territory. Go not knowing where, bring not knowing what. The path is long, the way is unknown. A monk asked Wishwan, what does one think while sitting? One thinks of not thinking, the master replied. How does one think of not thinking? The monk asked. Without thinking. Mark Twain said there ain't no way to find out why a snorer can't hear himself snore. The raindrops patter on the basho leaf, but these are not tears of grief. This is only the anguish of him who is listening to them. We dance around in a ring and suppose, but the secret sits in the middle and knows. Robert Frost. If you cannot find the truth right where you are, where else do you expect to find it? You want Robert Persing? The only Zen you find on the tops of mountains is the Zen you bring up there. What else should we find here? I like that one. The nature of God is a circle of which the center is everywhere and the circumference is nowhere. And his name was Empedocles. Empedocles? Empedocles. I don't know what the fuck that is. I'm guessing this is Ralph Waldo Emerson. What it is says Emerson. Standing on the bare ground. Oh, it's definitely Emerson. Standing on the bare ground, a mean egotism vanishes. I became a transparent eyeball. I am nothing. I see all the universal currents being circulated through me. I am a particle of God. This one's a funny one. Here's a Zen koan. Wakwan complained when he saw a picture of a bearded Bodhidharma. And he said, why hasn't that fellow a beard? Hans Christian Andersen. This is the Emperor Has No Clothes. It's the end of it. But the Emperor has nothing at all, cried a little child. J.M. Barrie. This is a good one. I'm not young enough to know everything. Here, if you want to understand. Before a person studies Zen, mountains and mountains, and waters are waters. After a first glimpse into the truth of Zen, mountains are no longer mountains, and waters are no longer waters. After enlightenment, mountains are once again mountains, and waters are once again waters. As the roof was leaking, a Zen master told two monks to bring something in which to catch the water. One brought a tub, the other brought a basket. The first was severely reprimanded, the second highly praised. In the waves of the Zen stream, we are alike. Oh, excuse me, I fucked that one up. I'll try it again. If all the waves of the Zen streams were alike, innumerable ordinary people would get bogged down. Oh, that's good. I like this a lot. Even though I fucked it up the first time, we can always learn from making mistakes to never do that again or else. If all the waves of the Zen stream were alike, innumerable ordinary people would get bogged down. Yeah, I'll get back to this a little later. Who else is left up in here? Are there people in here? Are there humans? Are the humans available for conversating? Maybe I'll just do this because I assume that there is there's something to doing a long show that I don't know that people in the future will be so committed to listening because of the way that I do these things. Or if I just keep these things to like 2 hours and I'll just start another, just like I did a show 2 hours a second ago. Well, a second ago, I mean, like 3 hours ago. So I just did 2.5 hour shows, 5 hours. I can just do another show right after this. That way I can break it up into 3 pieces. So it might be easier to find. Maybe I'll do that. And I'll remind you guys, I'll just, if you guys, 5 of you want to come back, come back. Good to see everybody, Rebecca and everybody else in the background. There are 3 things you need to know. After you know this, there's the thing that's scrolling by beneath me, right there. And then there's a description box. It'll give you the same information, which is my Cash App, my PayPal, my Venmo, Zen. That's me, TSAR, capital XEN, Cash App, PayPal. Venmo is Zen-Atman-1. And you can buy me a beer, buy me a dozen beers, or buy me a house, buy me a hooker, buy me a whore, buy me something, or donate, whatever you like. And there's also if you need my help, Theo Luminous, Godlight, that's me, Gmail. And my WordPress is right there, zenalchemist.wordpress.com. And maybe that's wrong. There might be a / in there, but you'll figure it out. I think you're smart enough. And the Instagram's on there too. And 3 things that you need to know. Have fun, be weird, be strange, be absurd. Everyone else is already taken, so just be yourself. And if you have a little extra, feel free to share that with me or someone around you. Some of you can help them. It's kind of only the right thing to do. And be weird. Just enjoy your life. Do your shit. If you want to come back, I'll be back in. Give me 15 minutes so I can finish up eating my noodles and crack myself another beer. And we'll do 3 shows in one day. And put a full day of work in, which I think most people work in. I guess 3, 5. I don't know, maybe 8 hours. Is that what people put in? I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm worth probably like $500 to $1,000 an hour, so I should make a lot of money on this. But I'm happy to accept less than fucking. I'm not happy to do it, but less than these fucking people just shaking a cup. This is pretty much what I make. But I put the work in, and it's all there. I get the receipts for this shit. It's all there. Thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of hours of teaching, and tens of thousands of hours into learning this shit. Imagine being this good. Good to see everybody. I'll be back. 15 minutes. Bye, bitches. Talk to you soon. Uh-oh.